Hey everybody, Big Lyle back for another rare one. This one here, I bought at a secondhand bookshop probably 5 or 10 years ago. Not for very much, maybe $10 or $15. And it's a Canadian edition called Wanted Comics, number 15 from 1948. This is what the cover looks like. And on the cover, right here, we have Harry Dunlop. Dunlop and some Dunlap. This is the back cover. You can tell it's a Canadian one. I I haven't decided if I'm going to open it and show the contents inside because it's only being held by one staple and I don't want to chance it. But I'll give you some information on it. Some of the stories inside, like I can open them up really carefully like this, but to stand them up, the comic might fall out. So the first story inside was called The Black Hand. And then the second story was, hang on a sec here, The Wanted Mystery, The Tombstone. And I think the third story in here was about Harry Dunlop. Yes. From the files of Skip Tracer, case number 3421, The Badge Bandit. And he was also known as Gold Tooth Harry. I'll see if this is what it looks like. This fellow over here. So I'll give you a little bit of information on this. So this supposedly was published by a company called PSL Publishing Company. Well, first of all, this was number 15 from 1948. So PSL Publishing Company and Harry Dunlop on the cover. And the art was done by Mort Leave, Leav. He was born in 1916 and he died in 2005. He was a comic book artist and an art director. He did crime and horror titles. And none of these are graded on CGC, the Canadian one. There was one available on eBay on a site called Capcan Comics for $137.50. It's a VG fine or 5.0. There's one that sold on Heritage December 12th, 2022. That was graded a 9.2. And it sold for $1,152 US. That was auction number 122250 and lot number 13946. So the PSL Publishing Company was affiliated with Superior Publishing Company. They worked in the same area in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Some say that the PSL that it says in indicia at the back of the book is that it was an error and it should have been marked SPL. So this one here, when I looked it up, it said Publications Services Limited is what you can see on the back cover at the very bottom here. Right there. I don't know how well you can see it. I am getting a better computer because I know that the resolution is not the best, but that's coming soon. So PSL Publishing were known to, they existed between 1945 and 1956. And they did crime, horror, and romance. And because of the low quality paper, it makes these extremely scarce today. So there are roughly 10 US copies for every one Canadian copy surviving from that era. So the artist, his name was Mort Leave. What I found out about him is that he drew the majority of covers and lead stories for the series. He was also co-creator of The Heap, a swamp monster in 1942 for Hillman Periodicals. He also worked for Quality Comics. I'm not sure if he just did the stories or if he did the art, but he worked on Black Hawk, Dull Man, and Uncle Sam. Worked for Fiction House on ZX5 and Spies in Action. He worked on Timely Comics for Captain America and the Destroyer. And he worked on Harvey Comics, pencils and inks for a comic called Jungle Man. Now, after leaving the company industry in 1954, he became a successful commercial illustrator. He drew some of the earliest TV commercial storyboards, including the iconic Mr. Whipple in the Charmin ads from 1964 to 1985. He worked there about 20 years, but I think he was born in 1916 and he died in 2005. So the actor who portrayed Mr. Whipple, his name was Dick Wilson. He was born in 1916 and died in 2007. He appeared in over 504 commercials, and it's in the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest TV commercial portrayal. And the first commercial was filmed in Flushing's, New York. Flushing. One moment. So Harry Dunlap, of what I could find on him, aka the Badge Bandit, or the Gold Tooth Harry. He used fake badges to rob people. He was born in 1885 and he died in 1964, and he was from Northwest Pennsylvania. He was convicted of multiple counts and sentenced to 2 life terms plus 214 years. The presiding judge called him the most debased person who ever appeared in these courts. So that's all I could find on him. I know that while they were transferring him from one prison to another, I don't know if he might have been sick. They had brought him to the hospital and he ended up escaping and robbed some hotel called the Casablanca and managed to steal $6,000, and then he was recaptured and probably remained in jail for the rest of his life. So that's all I have for you. I know that this character here, Harry Dunlap, in the Batman movie that Heath Ledger was in, that mask that they had during the beginning of the show for the bank robberies portrayed this fella. So that was the quip that I had for that. So I thought it would be interesting to show that to you. I do have a copy. They are very rare. And I wanted to share that with you. So if you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any other information to add to this, I'll add it to my catalog. And if I have enough information, I'll make a second video. So on that note, thank you very much for watching. Appreciate all the subs. So as of this recording, I have 202 subs and I think almost 3,800 views. I really am very proud of everybody watching this show. Thank you so much and have a wonderful weekend. God bless.